Welcome back to part 2B of spiritual transformation and empowerment with the focus on prayer in the spirit and spiritual meditation. Now, this process requires spiritual discipline. I want you to hear that. The ability granted by God's grace to bring self under control for a purpose. Getting out of bed an hour before your regular time, I think, is a must if you perform your spiritual disciplines in the morning. Now, if for some reason, because of your schedule, you can't do that, find some other time during the day to do this. Get in a solitary place if you can, and you can either meditate on this process, either verbally or mentally. And that's the key. But the other key is doing it consistently. First, I prefer putting on my earphones and plugging into my favorite scripture application and reflecting on a few chapters of scripture. Then I clear my mind by focusing on the blank space between your closed eyes. Yeah. And relax. Put your body into a meditative posture and begin deep breathing. I take 7 deep breaths. I inhale in my mind and spirit the virtue of the Lord, and I exhale toxic thoughts and matters. Relax your body and think pleasant thoughts. To drown out the negative, toxic voices of news and social media, you must learn to tune out and tune in. To tune out, you've got to find something that you really enjoy to do that will take your mind off of negative things, especially things coming from media, the press, and social media. Tune out. Then tune back in. Come back into your awareness after you're done meditating regarding what your most important advocacy or issue that you are raising your voice for. Do you hear me? Okay, let's move on. It's called escape. Escaping in your mind. Then come back to your awareness, as I've said. After your deep breathing exercise, recite the following prayers. Now, just as you dress physically for your day, get dressed spiritually through the following exercise. If you cannot do it, I stated in the morning, find some other time during the day and find a solitary place. For me, it all begins with prayer in the spirit. Now, if you hang in there with these series, you're going to be exposed to a kingdom concept series that states that unknown tongues have always been unknown, which is why the translators put unknown in the margins of the script that they were translating, and it is italicized in most translations or kept out in some translations. Unknown tongues have always been unknown. They are an ancient Semitic, Hamitic conglomeration of languages. Listen to me. That God placed in the human spirit is the language of the human spirit when God breathed into man's nostrils the breath of life. Every individual on planet Earth has a human spirit called the God consciousness and is capable of uttering unknown tongues. It's specifically called your prayer language. I know how it sounds because most of you probably haven't heard it before. but it's out there in research and it's out there in the original text of language. So we're going to get into this meditative part in part 2, 3. Come back for it.